Hello everybody and welcome back to the Rigs of Rods semi-realistic point series channel. My name is Preston Vieira and it is great to be back here with you to kick off season 2 for 2024. Season 2 is bigger and better than ever with 48 main field trucks and some all new concepts and ideas being brought to life based on a whole bunch of fan interaction with you guys on Instagram with questions and polls about trucks as far as competitors, tour placements, and even tour ideas. Also for season 2, the RORSRPS channel has officially partnered with Dubby, a clean, sugar-free, all-natural source of energy and hydration. Be better with 10 energy flavors to choose from, as well as 2 awesome hydration blends. Now, of course, I can't promote something that I don't use or know about myself, and with Dubby being a new product to me, be sure to keep an eye on this channel for a taste test and review coming very, very soon. As a perk of Dubby teaming up with the RORSRPS channel, you can head over to dubby.gg and get 10% off at checkout using code RORSRPS. Dubby definitely has some delicious sounding flavors, from sour gummy bear to dub sludge, their green apple flavor, as well as blue raspberry and a bunch more. Be sure to head over to dubby.gg, check out all their flavors. I was just naming the energy. They got 2 awesome hydration flavors. They got watermelonada, that is watermelon and lemonade, and pine berry splash, which is pineapple strawberry. So they both sound great to me. Be sure to check them out. And if you're in the market for some new energy supplements, you can also check out Dubby on our all-new free app on both the Google Play and Apple App Store. Now, before we jump into Season 2 stuff, let's take a moment to reflect and look back at some big moments from Season 1. Now, we can't talk about Season 1 without first mentioning the biggest rivalry of the season, Zombie versus Medusa. Both of these trucks absolutely decimated the competition with a huge lead in point standings for a huge portion of the season. Zombie debuted the season with a racing win in Minneapolis, but by show 2, Medusa was ready for her spotlight, taking the racing win, which ends up a common theme for the 2-time World Finals champion. Medusa repeated the racing win in Detroit for show 3 as our rivalry face off in the finals for the first time. Philly show 4, Zombie and Medusa took it all the way to the finals once again, but this time, Zombie was able to come out on top, and the energy continued throughout his freestyle as well, as he followed it with his first freestyle win and a double down trophy. Shows 5 and 6 both saw the rivalry in the finals, but twice in a row it was Medusa taking some more racing wins, until show 7 in Atlanta, where Medusa was unable to make it past the second round, but she was able to come back with a vengeance in freestyle, taking home the freestyle championship and her first freestyle win. Arlington show 8 saw the return of the face-off in the finals, but Medusa was running hot with her bombshell season. She'd not only take the racing win, but take the freestyle win and the double down trophy, grabbing those 5 bonus points. Phoenix saw Zombie take home his second double down trophy, and he needed it. Heading into Salinas show 10, he needed another double down if he wanted to grab the tour championship. Of course, in the end, he still managed to grab the freestyle championship, but without the racing win, Medusa managed to hold on to the Throwback Tour championship, securing her name as a qualifier in World Finals 1 and setting the current record for highest season points by the end of the season with 185 points. Zombie came just shy of the glory with 178. But that brings us around to our Season 1 Tour champions. On the Custom Chaos Tour, it was Avenger who managed to hold off Bad Company until the end, taking the championship with 178 points and 5 wins, including 1 double down trophy. On the Throwback Tour, of course, as I mentioned, it was Medusa with 7 wins and 1 double down trophy and a total of 185 points. And on the Sponsor Showdown Tour with 140 points and 3 wins, including 1 double down trophy, it was Thunder Roris. Heading into the World Finals, the field was packed with heavy hitters from Son of a Digger, Grave Digger, and 2 Max Ds to Zombie, Medusa, and even my awesome guest host Tyler Reyes, Full Boogie Tilt himself. 24 qualifiers showed up to Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas looking to burn their name into the earth as the first RORSRPS World Finals champions. In qualifying, Zombie laid down the fastest pass with a 32.04, but Son of a Digger was right there with him, pulling a fast time of 32.05. When it came down to racing, however, it was Megalodon Fire who managed to hold out to the end, knocking out Barbarian in the finals. And with the racing win, Megalodon Fire secured himself the first official qualifying spot in Season 2. Two-wheel skills came next, and with a few really solid performances, there was one that stood out to our guest judges as top of the totem pole, and that was Son of a Digger, our next truck added to the Season 2 roster. Freestyle was a really tight competition at the top of the leaderboard. Bad Company grabbed 3rd place with a 41 out of a possible 45 points. Son of a Digger got 2nd, taking 42 points, and in potentially one of the most controversial moments of the season, Avenger grabbed the freestyle win with a 42, securing his spot in the Season 2 main field. Our 3 World Finals champions will be spread around so that we have 1 world champion per tour this season, but we'll jump into our main field and sub lineups later on in this video. For now, enough about Season 1. Let's jump into our Season 2 details. RORSRPS Season 2, fueled by Dubby, will be debuting 3 all-new tour themes featuring 16 main field trucks each. The first of those 3 tours is the Biggest and Baddest Tour. Named for having the biggest names and some heavy-hitting matchups, things didn't necessarily work out that way when it came down to it. But when all of the qualifiers were mostly randomly selected and requested from you guys, you know, it's not always going to stick to plan. Let's take a look at some of the tracks that we're going to be seeing for the Biggest and Baddest Tour this season. First up, we'll be stopping in Seattle, Washington at Lumen Field. Salina Sports Complex is next as we head to California for stops 2 and 3. Anaheim is next at Angel Stadium. Then it's RORSRPS's debut in Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. NRG Stadium is getting a show for Season 2 as we head to Houston, Texas next. For the first time, we'll also be seeing Atlanta Motor Speedway, an absolutely massive floor with the return of straight line racing on the RORSRPS channel. Tampa is going to be wild as we head to Raymond James Stadium for the RORNJL Superstar Challenge. Definitely looking forward to this track. Another all-new stop, Baltimore is next as we pop up in M&T Bank Stadium. Then it's off to Indianapolis. Season 1 had an insane show at Lucas Oil Stadium, and we intend to burn it down there once again. And closing out the season for the BeamNG Tour, we'll be stopping in Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, where we'll officially be crowning our first Season 2 Tour champion. Our second tour for Season 2 is the Indy Madness Tour. This tour may have a bunch of Indy names in the main field, but this tour wasn't made for the Indy trucks. This is a way for RORSRPS to break in and check out some of the smaller, independently promoted venues and check out some car-crushing action. For this tour, we'll be kicking it off with a heavy presence in Texas. First stop on the tour is Cameron Motor Speedway in Cameron, Texas. Staying in Texas, we're off to Round Rock at the Dell Diamond with an awesome custom track in this small-town baseball field. Holland, Texas is next as we visit the Little River Dragway. Another look at some straight line racing, but this time it's classic drag style, side by side. Our final Texas track on this tour, the Heart of Texas Speedway in Elmont, Texas, brings us not only an awesome custom layout for racing, but a unique track for our drivers to take on. Next up, it's off to the Arizona State Fair in Phoenix for one of our smallest venues of the season. Still a great track, but it's going to be interesting to see the drivers switch from the larger, more open venues to something like a fairground floor. Another big floor is next. Really big. This is Swagliner's Snow Jam, and this is sure to be an interesting show to say the least. These drivers are going to have to battle it out against each other and the elements of the mile-high snow if they want to take the win. Missouri City, Missouri, we're coming for you next. Another small town is getting a very wild show with Casey's Spooky Spectacular, a large floor with a triple stack and not only a lot of obstacles, but some inventive ones as well. Then we're heading to North Carolina for the dirt track at Charlotte for the Monster Blog Fest. With a huge floor and wild new racing layout, this is going to be another banger with, I'm sure, some wild moments. We're making another appearance at the biggest floor of Season 1, Mount Pleasant, Michigan, at the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort as we check out 2016's Throwdown track. And closing out the season on this tour, we're gonna head to Grand Forks, North Dakota for Alaris Center and the toughest monster truck track. Definitely a solid close to the season, and it's gonna be very interesting to see who's gonna come out on top on this tour. Our third and final tour, last but certainly not least, is Monster Jam's biggest team battle we've ever seen, the All-Star Challenge Tour, featuring Team Thunder versus Team Mayhem. On this tour, our drivers must work as a team to get as many points as possible and get their team to hold the lead by the end of the season. That's the most important part, because the toughest aspect of this tour is that our entire losing team will be locked out of the World Finals. If our drivers want to see a World Finals qualification and get a shot at a guaranteed Season 3 spot, they need their team to win. For the All-Star Challenge Tour, 2 8-truck teams will face off all season long on 10 brand new, sometimes experimental tracks thought up by yours truly to give our drivers a different challenge every show and hopefully make this points fight a difficult one. Kicking things off for Show 1 will be in MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey with some classic Chicago-style racing. Next on the roster is Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Easily one of my favorites, if not my favorite track on the tour. I'm very excited to see this show come to life. Then for Show 3, we're off to St. Louis, Missouri in the Dome at America Center with one of our more experimental tracks. With tall, steep jumps, only the toughest trucks and most skilled drivers will survive the event. For our fourth event, we're heading back to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida with an interesting hybrid track trying to bring together our current Monster Jam track styles with a classic Monster Jam feel. Orlando's next as we take elevated track elements to an all-new level with a 2019 All-Star Challenge inspired racing layout. This is going to be an interesting night of racing for sure, and with the unique freestyle obstacle layout, freestyle is sure to be something you have to see as well. We're heading to Texas after that, and we're back in El Paso for a second season in a row. This time, we're seeing a different take on the over-under layout for racing. For freestyle, we're continuing the theme of bringing together the elements of both a classic and current Monster Jam. For Show 7, we're popping up in Glendale, Arizona for a 2024-esque take on the classic Vegas-style J-Hook. Trucks will be back-to-back with a World Finals 21 style start before taking on the J-Hook racing layout. We're also seeing the RORSRPS debut of the Monster Jam Bowl. We're headed back to Anaheim next for a slightly altered SoCal racing layout. The massive backflip ramps will be prepped and ready for some huge air. Also on the track are some interesting combo possibilities with our freestyle obstacles. For our penultimate show on the All-Star Challenge Tour, we'll be in Tacoma, Washington for a unique take on the Chicago-style racing layout, starting with a smaller loop that features our drivers blowing past each other head-on before taking on the typical Chicago lap. And closing out our regular season, we'll end things where they began in Seattle, Washington with a similar racing layout to what we saw in Houston last year. This is definitely a big, challenging track to give these drivers one last chance to either make up or lose the points needed to get into World Finals 2. Speaking of World Finals 2, our track layout has not been decided yet. Work hasn't even begun on it actually, but one thing is for sure, we will be back in Sam Boyd Stadium for our second World Finals. Also for Season 2, our World Finals will once again be 24 qualifying trucks, but this time around, our qualifying criteria will be a little bit different. For the Biggest and Baddest Tour and the Indy Madness Tour, 6 main field trucks will be making it into the World Finals, as well as, of course, the top earning sub on both of those tours. For the All-Star Challenge Tour, of course, our winning team will make it to the World Finals. That is 8 more participants, and of course, the one top earning sub from the All-Star Challenge Tour. However, that only makes 23 to our main field. That last spot will be debuting an all-new 12-competitor sub-showdown competition that is yet to be named, and the top 12 of our subs from throughout the season are going to battle it out in a racing competition to fill that final spot. But let's keep things rolling with the announcements. Without further ado, let's jump into our Season 2 trucks. If you've made it this point into the video, be sure to leave a flame emoji in your comment down below just so I can see who's really rocking with me and who is jumping ahead and seeing all of our competitors. Let's start things out with our subs. Substitutes are an important part of the RORSRPS season. Not only do they keep new names flowing in and out to keep our lineups interesting, but at the end of each show, one truck will be named the points loser. That truck will be subbed out by one of our substitutes, and the goal of a substitute, like our main field trucks, is to earn points and earn a racing or freestyle win, or potentially a double down trophy. If they can do so, they'll stick around for another show until they are unable to win. Subs are in their own category as far as points, and the top earning subs on each tour will get automatic qualifications into World Finals 2. After carefully considering any sub requests that were given to me and the entirety of my mods folder at the time of selection, these are our subs for Season 2. The biggest and baddest tour. Batman. Gravedigger the Legend. El Toro Loco. Monster Mutt. VP Mad Scientist. Earthshaker. Medusa. Thunder Roris. An Extreme Attitude. Indie Madness Tour. The DD Fandom Protector. Insanity. Terminal Velocity. War Wizard. Shell Camino. Awaken. Skeledragon. Del Scorcho. and block hit. The All-Star Challenge Tour. The Amazing Spider-Man. JCB Digatron. Gearhead. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Junkyard Dog.
When you feel the world is over, when you say you're feeling lonely,
Superstar.
if you ever need a shoulder, you know where to find me. Stop chasing
Tailgater.
all the city lights, breathe me in, go on and take your bite, count on me to make you come alive. You know
Shaker.
where to find me tonight.
And Recreation. Now, if you've been following along with the RORSRPS YouTube channel or Instagram, you got to see our qualifiers earn their spots in real time. But thanks to all of you guys who participated on Instagram and entered your votes, all 48 of our main field trucks have found their placements on the Season 2 tours. So let's get a little refresher and see where everyone ended up. On the biggest and baddest tour, we got Son of a Digger.
Stop chasing all the city lights, breathe me in, go on and take your bite, count on me to make you
Gunslinger.
alive. You know where to find me tonight.
Team Suzuki. Bob and Tom. Soldier Fortune Black Ops. Lucas Oil Crusader. Team Meents.
We lost our minds in the darkness of night. We live to die. We lose our souls every day.
Venom.
We lost our minds. We don't remember what's wrong and what's right. The world is dead, but we stay. 'Cause we are born
Predator.
as living fights. We live to die. We live to die.
Gravedigger. Velociraptor. Dragon. War Machine. Spider-Man Miles Morales.
We are just shadows.
Working Class.
It's supposed to be that we die. It doesn't matter if there is no light.
And Sonic Heroes. On the Indie Madness Tour, we're starting with Megalodon Fire. Blacksmith. Megabyte. Rage. Shadow the Hedgehog. Plain Krazy. Excaliber. Wolf's Head. Shake Me. Bounty Hunter. Chillin' Villain. Amsoil Shock Therapy. Vorian Prime. Full Bore. Jailbird. And Iron Outlaw. on the All-Star Challenge Tour, Team Thunder features Avenger. Gravedigger. Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Max D Nitro. Blown Money. Blue Thunder. Bro Camino. And Lucas Stabilizer. Bad Company. Northern Nightmare. Zombie. Max D Split. Gravedigger. Piece of Scrap. Hypershock. And Mohawk Warrior Fire. New for Season 2, I will now be opening the floor for truck signups. But please, before signing up, listen carefully so you understand the rules. To be 100% clear, you will not be physically driving any of these trucks, but you will be named in commentary and videos and Instagram posts as driver. You will only be assigned one truck per person, and all 48 main field and 27 sub spots need to be filled. Here's what I need from you in the comments below. If you want to sign up, be sure to check the pinned comment below so you can just copy and paste and edit sections. First thing I need is your name. Preferably a first and last. Does not have to be your real name, but it does have to be appropriate. Next thing I need is your hometown. Does not have to be your real hometown. You don't have to give any personal info. You can pick any city that you want in the world. Next is your preferred pronouns. Gender doesn't matter, it doesn't affect your truck placement, but I do need a more general way of referring to you other than your name. Next, I need your YouTube and Instagram @. Be sure to leave those in the comment below. If you do not have one or the other, that is okay, you can leave that off, but I would prefer that you had at least one of those. And the last thing I need from you are your truck preferences. 3 main field max, 2 sub max. Signups will be first come, first serve, and any open trucks will be filled by any signups, whether you chose the truck or not. If we're unable to fill all trucks, any open trucks will be locked to default real-life drivers. Please keep in mind that it is first come, first serve, and if the truck that you want is already filled, please be open to moving around. Signups close in 1 week, so you do not have to pick right this second, but you do have to get your picks in before Saturday, March 23rd, 2024. Signups will be officially locked in the description below, so be sure to check to see if your preferred truck is still available before typing it in a comment below. One small tip, maybe a word of caution, try to pick at least one truck that you think others may not be going for. That way at least you might get a truck that you actually chose. If everyone's picking Max D's and Gravediggers, no one's gonna get them. And that is it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to see this season come to full realization. Be sure to keep an eye open for the Dubby taste test and review coming next Saturday. I'll see you guys March 30th in Seattle, Washington for our first show of the season on the Biggest and Baddest Tour.